I live an extravagant life, and I make no apologies for it. I'm free as a motherfucker.
What happens when a man at the top of the music world becomes the center of so many dark controversies and conspiracies that remain unsolved? Multiple deaths around him that are ruled natural causes, but everyone suspects it was him. Sean Diddy Combs isn't just a hip-hop icon. He's a cultural force, a billionaire mogul, and the face behind one of history's most successful music empires. But behind the money, power, and fame lies a trail of unexplained deaths, courtroom chaos, violent confrontations, and suspicious silences. For years, people have whispered about the curse surrounding Diddy, but others say it's no curse at all. It's a pattern. This is the story of Sean Combs, not just the music mogul, but the man whose name seems to surface in the darkest corners of hip-hop history. Here's a deep dive into the timeline that's too dramatic to be fiction. The night Biggie was killed. In 1997, the East Coast-West Coast feud had reached a boiling point. Just 6 months after Tupac was gunned down in Las Vegas, another hip-hop tragedy struck. This time, it was the Notorious BIG. On the night of March 9th, Biggie was leaving a Vibe magazine party in Los Angeles when a black Chevrolet Impala pulled up and fired fatal shots into his SUV.
I want to get out. Somebody got shot.
Sean Combs was with Biggie that night, traveling in a separate car. As Biggie's mentor and producer, he was devastated. In public, he mourned, but in private, some insiders started to question his decisions.
Oh, Lord, fuck shit. Oh, they kicking.
Oh, somebody got shot.
That was 5 shots fired.
Oh, look at that wreck.
Y'all, crank up the car, please. I'm ready to go. We have to get out. Security.
I wonder why they was running that.
Why was Biggie's security so much looser than Diddy's that night? Why bring him to LA at all, when tensions were sky high after Tupac's death? Some began to wonder if Diddy could have done more to protect the man who helped build Bad Boy Records. Others went further, questioning whether he benefited from removing a rising star who had started considering other business opportunities.
The early morning, March 9th, Biggie and his crew exited the Peterson Automotive Museum there, proceeded north on Fairfax, where they stopped at the intersection, at which point the assailant's vehicle pulled up alongside their right side, fired approximately 6 to 10 shots, and then fled east on Wilshire, after which Biggie's crew drove west on Wilshire to Cedars-Sinai Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead.
None of it was proven, but the doubts lingered, quietly painting a picture of a man surrounded by tragedy, yet seemingly untouched by it. The Club New York shooting.
We leave the club, there's a commotion. Next thing you hear some gunfire. We get pushed out of there. Next thing they pulling our car over. Next thing we in handcuffs. Next thing I'm like, what are y'all doing? y'all know it's, I didn't have a gun, Jen didn't have a gun, what are we doing here? Come on, I mean, can we talk about this?
By the late 90s, Combs was flying high, a Grammy-winning artist, a business mogul, and a regular in the tabloids thanks to his high-profile relationship with Jennifer Lopez. But in December 1999, a night out at Club New York turned into a national scandal.
It was like guilty before innocent. It wasn't even really let's investigate it. It was just like, let's just run with this. The media's outside, let's keep it going, and then,
Combs and Lopez were partying in the VIP section alongside Combs' new protege, 21-year-old rapper Jamal Shine Barrow. At some point during the night, another clubgoer made a comment that allegedly offended Combs. Words were exchanged, and then chaos.
She's somebody that I'll always love, you know what I'm saying? And I'll always love her, and we'll always be friends. And you know, we regular people, and just even with regular people, sometimes relationships don't work out. But for me, she's somebody special. It's different than a regular relationship that I've ever had, you know what I'm saying? I'll always love her, you know? And I just wanted her just to be happy, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, when the time is right, you know, we're gonna meet again.
Shine pulled out a gun and began firing. 3 bystanders were hit. People screamed, ducked, and scattered as gunshots tore through the nightclub. Diddy, J-Lo, and their entourage sprinted out, fleeing the scene in a black SUV. A high-speed police chase followed. Eventually, they were pulled over and arrested.
Let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are. This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life.
Shine was charged with multiple counts of assault and attempted murder. Combs faced gun possession and bribery charges. Prosecutors accused him of trying to persuade his driver to take the fall. The trial was high profile and explosive, drawing headlines around the world. The suspicious death of Kim Porter.
Funeral taking place at Cascade Hills Church. Porter leaves behind 3 children with Combs and an older son by singer Al B. Shore.
For a while, the scandal seemed to quiet down. Combs focused on business ventures, family, and his role as an elder statesman in hip-hop. But in November 2018, tragedy returned.
Celebrity pastor T.D. Jakes did the eulogy for the funeral. Porter was found dead in her Los Angeles home last Thursday. Authorities say she went into cardiac arrest while fighting flu-like symptoms. She was 47 years old.
Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime ex-partner and the mother of 3 of his children, was found dead in her Los Angeles home. She was only 47. According to the coroner, she had died of lobar pneumonia. It was ruled a natural death.
That case needs to be reopened, man. The case really needs to be reopened. Because if that girl was there and she said that Kim was all right, what happened from 8 to 11? And why did all Kim's stuff come up missing?
I ain't know any of that, man. I never heard of that. So when they found her, she had bruises and a lot of her stuff was missing?
Bro, it's a lot of suspect things going on. First and foremost, in our day and time, other than our house key, a woman gonna keep her phone and you know, she got a lot of different purses, but everybody always grab their phone. Why come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter's phone is?
But almost immediately, questions arose. Kim had reportedly been in good health. Friends and family described her as vibrant and active in the days leading up to her death. Allegedly, she was even planning to sit down with a biographer to tell her life story, including the secrets she knew about Combs.
Yo, call Thomas! Look at my sister! Go, sister! Go, sister! Hey! 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 Hey!
Insiders whispered that she had kept journals, laptops, and maybe even video recordings detailing years of behind-the-scenes behavior. Was she preparing to go public? Some think so. And then there were the stories of alleged abuse. According to former associates, Porter had once confronted Combs during an argument, warning him never to lay a hand on her again. She had reportedly started standing up for herself in the final months of her life. One chilling theory circulated online that an argument turned deadly, possibly during one of Combs's quote-unquote play fights. Others speculated that she had been poisoned or smothered. Nothing was proven and police found no foul play, but to this day, many believe there's more to the story. Andre Harrell and Al B. Sure's mysterious health crises.
Hey, yo, Carl Thomas. Hey, yo, Carl Thomas. Look at my sister. Go, sister. Go, sister. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, she's doing it.
In 2020, tragedy struck again. Andre Harrell, the music executive who discovered Diddy and gave him his first shot at Uptown Records, died suddenly of heart failure at 59. The official cause was natural, and he had a history of heart problems. But to some, it was one more name on a growing list. Far more suspicious was what happened to R&B singer Al B. Sure. In 2022, he wanted to reportedly speak out against Diddy. He had raised questions about Kim Porter's death and claimed to have evidence of disturbing behavior. Then, out of nowhere, he fell into a 2-month coma. Doctors described it as unexplained multi-organ failure. At one point, he was nearly sent to hospice. In 2025, Sure has now alluded to the fact that Diddy was responsible for his unexpected health concern. After recovering from his coma, he claimed there was a bounty on his head and suggested that powerful people wanted him silenced. At the time, he never named names, but he didn't have to. Once again, the whispers grew louder. Was someone systematically silencing Diddy's critics? And if so, how far would they go? The return of Tupac's murder case.
New, never-before-seen photos and video connected to the investigation into the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. This is now available to the public. It includes pictures and video of the car Shakur was riding in the night of his death. You can see bullet holes scattered all across that vehicle. This newly released evidence showing never-before-seen details in a case that's cracked wide open some 27 years later.
For decades, the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur remained unsolved. But in 2023, the case roared back to life. Las Vegas police arrested Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, one of the last living witnesses from the scene. Keefe D. had long claimed that Sean Combs had offered him a bounty to kill Tupac and Suge Knight. In past interviews, he alleged that Diddy once said, "I'll give anything for Knight's head."
New video shows Tupac Shakur and Marion Suge Knight leaving the MGM Grand after a fight involving a rival gang. The video, part of evidence shown to a Las Vegas grand jury, leading the panel to indict Dwayne Keefe D. Davis in Shakur's murder.
27 years. 27 years. For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keefe Davis, aka Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Hands on top of your head right now. We're gonna take that male first. Hands on top of your head.
How did you feel about that? I'm like, damn.
There have been rumors and allegations linking Diddy to Tupac's passing. The rumors and allegations linking Diddy to Tupac mostly came from Keefe D, a suspect in the ending of Tupac's life and a member of the Southside Compton Crips. Keefe D claimed that Sean Diddy Combs offered him $1 million to end Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. This claim was also mentioned by a former LAPD detective who investigated the early ending of Biggie's life, which was cut short when he was just 24 years old. Now, with Keefe D formally indicted and facing trial, those claims may finally be tested in court. Will he testify that Combs was involved in ordering the hit? And if so, will that testimony lead to a formal investigation of Combs?
Grainy video from a surveillance camera showing Shakur and Knight in the front of the entourage from Death Row Records. Just before, the two groups fought here by a bank of elevators. The fight over a chain like this, a necklace Knight gave members of his group for Christmas. Death Row Records spelled out in jewels.
For now, the answers remain uncertain, but the possibility that one of hip-hop's most famous murders could finally be linked, legally, to the man who rose from uptown intern to music billionaire is a chilling twist in an already dark saga. Gene Deal was a former bodyguard for Sean Diddy Combs. His relationship with Diddy traces back to a shared affiliation with the New York City gang, a bond that initially brought them together and led to Gene Deal's role protecting the founder of Bad Boy Records. Gene was responsible for security and handling different tasks for the record label. He recently publicly announced his willingness to testify against Diddy amid ongoing investigation into Diddy's business and personal conduct.
Cassie was a die-hard Tupac fan. And because I believe that Puff may have found that out or known that, he put that against that girl. And he treated her like that because, one, he thought he could get away with it, and two, she had love for Pac. He didn't like the fact that she liked Tupac. And that's crazy. It's crazy to even believe that, even think that. But that was brought to my attention. Because you know, and everybody know, and in Kirk Burroughs' lawsuit, he states how obsessed Puff was with Tupac. At his Grammy speech, said the same words that Tupac had said out of his mouth before. And I just believe his obsession, and he was probably just as obsessed with Pac, probably more than as much as Cassie liked him.
Those who knew too much?
Hey, Diddy.
What's up?
We can't wake up Shane.
You try symbols?
Yep.
What about sour milk?
Didn't work.
Tell you what, take this toy helicopter, put it down his pants.
All right, we'll do.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me?
In recent weeks, the federal trial has laid bare a more disturbing side of Sean Diddy Combs' empire. Courtroom testimony reveals a chilling orchestration of coercion and manipulation.
What was Sean's reaction when he saw Cassie enter the courtroom?
You know, attorneys say that this is the first time that they've met since 2018 when she attended the funeral for Kim Porter, which is the mother of Sean Combs' 3 children. So to watch Sean Combs watching her was really interesting because they haven't seen each other in at least 6 years. But he can't say anything. You know, this is a moment for him where he has to be silent. And right now we're hearing what she says in terms of what happened during the course of their over 10-year relationship.
Is he showing any reaction to what she is saying on the stand?
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she has to say, as well as those jurors. People know that she was that star witness, the key person in all of this. When you think about that civil suit that came out in 2023, that was settled the day after. She really is the person that connects all the dots when you look at the indictment and you look at some of the charges.
A woman known as Jane testified in Manhattan that Combs coerced her into marathon-driven hotel night parties with male escorts and corn stars, often lacing her with drugs and threatening to cut off her $10,000 monthly rent. if she refused or spoke out, even after law enforcement raided his properties in March 2024 showed no deterrent. Jane's description of Combs sulking and attacking her, choking, punching, dragging, and forcing ecstasy on her in June 2024 marked a violent escalation when she declined to partake in these orchestrated encounters. The man behind the empire.
The video appears to show Combs punching and kicking the R&B singer who was his longtime girlfriend at the time. You may remember she filed a lawsuit against Combs, but it was settled the day after it was filed. After that, several more lawsuits were filed in the following months, along with a federal criminal sex trafficking investigation.
Now, when you get niggas from the street that need that job, they're gonna allow him to do whatever he wanna do. Cause he can fire them in a minute, and the only job they will be getting, they won't be in the music industry. That's their source of income. That's their livelihood. Like, it was some security that helped Cassie before, when Bad Boy security just watched Puff beating her.
Despite all this, Sean Diddy Combs has remained a towering figure in the world of entertainment. His portfolio spans music, fashion, alcohol brands, television, and philanthropy. He's hosted award shows, headlined festivals, and promoted empowerment through his label, public appearances, and social media.
Now, I noticed you also had, it seemed like you got security like the president this morning, like the whole
Yeah, I
detail.
never seen
They
that
came and did a
before.
sweep of the building.
Yeah, they did a sweep of the building, make sure there was no bomb.
No, you know what it
Damn
was? I'm just, sometimes you got to get your affairs in order, man. Sometimes you got to tighten up. So for me, I know where I'm going to, so I want to just tighten up, and I just want to be easy breezy. When I'm flowing, I just want you to be happy to see me. I don't want none of that extra big head security pushing or none of that. I'm refining my brand right now just to the fullest,
But beneath the glossy veneers, a darker portrait emerges. A man allegedly capable of ruthless control, manipulation, and deflection. While no court of law has found him guilty of orchestrating violence or silencing dissent, the pattern of events and accusations paint a troubling picture. Those who cross him seem to suffer. Those who speak out fall silent. And the legacy of those whose lives were intertwined with his often ends in silence, scandal, or tragedy.
What's good, Diddy? What's good, Diddy? No. What's good, Diddy? What do you think about Kanye West yesterday, brother? Come on, any comment, brother? You gonna leave that alone? Taylor Swift, I know Taylor Swift your girl too. Thumbs up. Have a beautiful day, Diddy.
What's more chilling is how insulated such figures become. With vast wealth, elite lawyers, and public adoration, Combs remains, legally speaking, untouchable. The repeated proximity of death, illness, and violence may be coincidental, but to many it's more than that. It's the mark of someone who may have perfected the art of staying clean while the chaos unfolds around him. Federal raid and criminal charges. On March 25th, 2025, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI agents, and federal law enforcement executed simultaneous raids on Sean Diddy Combs' residences in Los Angeles and Miami. Footage captured armed officers escorting multiple young people out of the Miami property while helicopters hovered above. Though Combs was not at the Miami location at the time, it was confirmed that several electronic devices, including hard drives, were seized from the scene.
Everybody knew that Puffy didn't just pop in the industry and say, hey, I want to have sex with everybody.
A few days after the raids, Diddy was briefly taken into custody at an airport in New Jersey. Although no immediate charges were filed, the Department of Justice acknowledged an active investigation centered around allegations including trafficking, illegal surveillance, and organized crime. Reports suggest that Combs may have secretly recorded intimate acts, and allegedly used those recordings for blackmail, targeting individuals who were known public figures.
A lot of people might say, well, Capricorn could have did anything else she wanted to do. She did try. If you go get a job at Universal and probably make a phone call, you're not getting that job. If you go get a job at a talent agency or in the movie business and probably make that call, your career is over.
On April 19, 2025, a federal grand jury handed down an indictment charging Combs with 8 serious federal offenses. These included racketeering conspiracy, facilitating unlawful sexual conduct across state lines, and obstructing justice. According to the prosecution, Combs led a long-running criminal network that systematically exploited women. Court filings read, "This is not merely a personal collapse. It is the exposure of a long-standing system of manipulation and abuse engineered to support a public empire." Celebrity testimonies and shocking revelations.
Just when we thought testimony could not get more explosive than Cassie and Kid Cudi, we've even heard gasps on the stand.
In the lead up to trial, several celebrities were summoned to testify under oath. Rapper Kid Cudi disclosed that his vehicle mysteriously exploded in 2012, shortly after turning down a collaboration with Combs. While Cudi stopped short of directly blaming Diddy, a lawsuit filed in 2024 accused Combs of orchestrating the explosion in retaliation. In a separate testimony, singer Cassie claimed she had viewed disturbing footage, allegedly saved on Diddy's personal servers, that depicted other victims.
He's looked at as a hero of our community, and myself included, I looked up to him too, you know? So a lot of people don't want to believe that their hero can be this other person.
Aubrey O'Day, formerly of Danity Kane, delivered a chilling statement during a deposition. She detailed being pressured into signing heavily restrictive NDAs and accused Combs of installing hidden cameras throughout his mansion. Her testimony was echoed by other former artists who had been signed under Diddy's label. Many alleged that Combs manipulated their contracts and used them as tools of psychological and financial control. Sean Diddy Combs rose to power through ambition, talent, and timing, but the legacy he leaves behind may be defined just as much by the dark headlines as by the hit records. In the court of law, he remains innocent, but in the court of public opinion, the questions grow louder. What kind of empire did he build? And what did it cost to keep it standing? As the trial of Keefe D looms, and as more people begin to speak out, the walls may finally be closing in on hip-hop's most controversial mogul. If you found this investigation insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the darkest corners of fame and power. Until next time, stay curious and stay cautious.